All right, so today's class, we're going to talk about how to book clients on autopilot using Google Ads, even if you're not techie or even if you're new to ads. And the reason I love this topic is because, with social media, because I do teach a lot about Facebook and Instagram, and those are great platforms. But with social media, it's very active. And so you're having to post content all the time, create content, follow up with people, chase down leads. Like it's a lot of work. And so I'm not saying you shouldn't be doing that stuff, but I also think that if there's an easier way to get business or a supplemental way that's, more passive to get business, why not do that? And so we're going to show you how to do that and what all goes into, what creates a good ad or where to send ads to and all that stuff and everything you need to know basically. So let's dive in. I want to tell you guys a quick story. So I went to Savannah Salon last month. She's actually right down the road from me here in Destin. I've been working with her since about 2018, but I went to her salon last month and we launched a simple Google Ads campaign, just one. And after that one campaign, it literally brought her in 92 calls the first week. It was insane. Like 92 calls to her business the first week. And that's not even the craziest part. The crazy part is while her calendar was filling up with new clients, there was actually three other salons in the local area that had reached out to me. They're sitting around there, they have empty schedules. They have no bookings, same area, same pricing and a very similar skill level. But the only difference was Savannah showed up first. And so when people were searching for her services, she showed up. So think of it like this, if someone's driving around, they're looking for a brow artist or a salon, you know, are they going to see your business first? If they do, they're probably going to come to you. So that's exactly what Google Ads do. It puts you front and center and right when people are ready to book, like right when they have their card out looking for your services. Now, before I show you exactly how we did it, let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked at your calendar and felt that, that knot in your stomach? You're like, oh crap, I got all these empty slots. Maybe it was 5 minutes ago. You're looking at your calendar, like, I don't have any bookings coming up. Yeah, Bianca said today. Um, so I get that feeling, and that's what we're trying to help. Or worse, when was the last time you guys took a discount client just to try to pay the bills? You knew you were worth more, but you're going to discount your service. You're going to try to charge cheaper just so you can get that client in the door just to keep the business going. Anybody, have that? Yep. So here's the truth about being a beauty professional in 2025. It's not the best artist or the best waxing or salon or permanent makeup artist that wins. It's the one who gets seen first. And those, just keep posting strategies that everyone's, preaching or teaching. That leaves you exhausted, it leaves you burnt out, and then you're still not fully booked even after doing all that stuff. So, what if I told you there's a reason why some beauty businesses are booked 3 months in advance while others are struggling to fill their next week? And it has nothing to do with, your location, your skill level, the economy, your prices, or even your Instagram aesthetic. So in the next 45 minutes, we're going to show you exactly how we've helped over 3,000 beauty professionals transform their businesses using this one strategy. Now, this is the same strategy that one of our clients actually was considering a 9 to 5 job. And then last year alone, she did almost $350,000. And just as a disclaimer, I think it was about 330. So 330 last year. And that's by herself. And I'm going to tell you that story in a minute and how she did that. But first, I want to warn you guys. This is a real warning. I need to be direct. If you're still relying on organic posting, I say this all the time on Facebook groups, oh, word of mouth, just keep posting. If you're still relying on that, you're basically fighting a losing battle. And here's why. We've looked at over 40,000 beauty businesses in our community, and we discovered something shocking. The top 1%, the ones making at least six figures or more consistently, keyword consistently, all have one thing in common. They've stopped hoping to get clients and they've started controlling their client flow. So they're getting in control of how they're getting clients. So let me prove it to you. Yeah, I just talked about Savannah. You remember her? Before we helped her, she was doing everything right. I put it in quotation marks because she was doing what all the people, the coaches teach, or what all the people on Facebook groups say. She was doing all that stuff. She was posting beautiful work. She was using all her trending hashtags. She was paying for coaching that taught her to basically twerk on TikTok. We all know those coaches. Yeah, she was lucky to book 4 to 5 clients a month. And that's because only a small percentage of your guys' followers, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, only a small percentage are even going to see your post, which means all those hours you spend creating content, yeah, 95% of that is completely wasted effort. So if you're feeling burnout, if you're feeling frustrated, No wonder. This is the rat race you've been going through. Can anybody relate? Type a yes in the chat if this sounds like what you're trying to do right now. Jamie says yes. Brandy, Bina, yep. All right. But here's what's changed everything for Savannah. So instead of chasing attention, she showed up at the exact moment someone typed brow artist near me. It's the same system that's helped Lisa, who went from a struggling permanent makeup artist to doing $200,000 her first year working with us, and that was last year. Or Natalie, who booked 30 facial appointments in her first month using our client attraction system. Here's the secret. We've cracked the code on something we call the client timing advantage because it's not about shouting the loudest. It's about being seen at the right time. And the best part, you don't need thousands of followers, complex websites, fancy equipment, or even tech skills. In fact, the less time you spend on social media, the better this works. I'll say that again. The less time you spend on social media, the better this works. And so, does that sound good to anybody spending less time on social media and making more money? I know that sounds good to me. So let me show you exactly how it works. This is one of the Vagara booking calendars from our clients. I think she sent us a screenshot like 2 weeks ago. But before we get started, let me tell you a bit about who I am and how I'm and why I'm here to help you grow your beauty business. So I know a lot of you already know me. I see a lot of friendly faces on here. Is this anyone's first class with us? I'm just curious. Is this anyone's first class? Okay, cool. So perfect. So I'll give a little quick intro. So we've been in the beauty industry since 2017. I actually met Tony early in 2018 when he hired me. He found me on YouTube and he hired me for his wife's aesthetic studio in Orlando, Florida. And so since then, he's obviously working with me now. We're business partners and best friends, but that's actually how we met was through the beauty industry. And, since 2017, we've been blessed to be able to help, thousands of beauty professionals. We've gotten, 3,000 plus testimonials and reviews. We've been featured speakers at all these, multiple conferences. We're actually heading to San Antonio this weekend to speak 6 times at a conference. So that's going to be fun. And I've got the number one book in the beauty industry, the No Fluff Guide to Growing Your Beauty Business. And I've actually got a copy with me here now, but I actually want to send some people here copies of this, and I can't send everybody a copy just because it costs money and shipping and all that. But I want to pick some winners tonight. I'll probably pick them in the comments. We'll send a book, and then everyone who stays to the end, I just want to give everybody a digital copy at least. That way you can read it on your iPad or your phone. I've got a lot of good feedback on this. This alone will help you grow your business. Also, if you're not in our community, the Six Figure Esthetician, definitely check that out. We've got over 40,000 members. So how's your year going so far? Now, I know we got a lot of first timers here, so I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a second. I know we have a lot of first timers, and so the way I like to do things is, I ask questions and I look for a response in the chat. The reason is studies show that if you engage, if you write things down or, just engage on the chat on Zoom, you'll retain about 60 to 80% more information. And so we're not just here to waste time, right? We're here to make the best use of your time and teach you all this stuff. And so I ask you guys for your own sake, when I ask you questions or when we do quizzes or whatever, engage with me on the chat. Now, I understand some of you are driving, so I mean, be safe in that scenario. But if you can, chat back and forth with us. So let me pull this back up. So here's our first question for you. How's your year going so far? You one, crushing it. Two, could be better. Or three, struggling and need change ASAP. All right. Peyton says one. Actually, I want. Yeah, Peyton's a really good story. She was actually messaging me earlier today, so I want to bring her on in a little bit. Jamie says two, Kara says two, Sharon says three. I see a lot of twos and threes. So the good news is, I mean, I'm sorry to hear that you guys are struggling, but the good news is you're in the right place to learn how to fix that. So I appreciate you guys. That kind of gives me a good gauge on, how to teach tonight to see where you guys are. So let's start with a quiz. Here's the first question, and we'll pick a book winner from the people that I see consistently get the right answer. When someone searches lip filler near me on Google, who shows up first? Is it the business with the most Instagram followers, which I've heard people say that before? Is it the one with the best reviews? I've heard that as well. Is it the one running Google Ads or the business that is closest to that person who is searching? Which do you think? A, B, C, or D? Or you can put one, two, three, or four. It doesn't matter. All right, I see best reviews, Google Ads, close to them. Okay. I'm glad we asked this question because there's actually a wide range of answers here. And I can definitely see how you could pick any of these. Like I've heard all these things before, and there's certain truths to each answer. But the most correct answer is the one running Google Ads. Why? Because you can have 1,000 5-star Facebook reviews or Google reviews. You can have, the best ranking organic thing. Like you could rank number one organically in your area. When I say organic, it means you're not paying for ads. However, the person who maybe only has 5 Google reviews, but they're running Google Ads will show up ahead of you because they're paying to play. They're paying to show up ahead of you. Now, if you're already ranking high organically, I still recommend Google Ads because that's how, and we'll talk a little bit more about this strategy in a bit, but that's how you get double ranked basically. And so the one running Google Ads is going to be one that shows up first when people are searching to book. Question number two, which of these shows the highest buying intent? When I say buying intent, who do you think's closer to being able to, ready to buy? Is it someone who follows you on Instagram? Is it someone who watches your stories? Is it someone who searches brow lamination near me on Google?
Ooh.
Okay, so pretty much everyone's getting this right. Yep. Obviously, the person searching, brow lamination near me or hair salon near me or permanent jewelry near me, whatever service they're searching for, those people are closer to buying than if someone is just following you on social media. So that's another reason why, maybe I should be running Google Ads. Number three, what's the biggest reason beauty professionals don't get seen on Google? Is it they post too much on Instagram, they rely on word of mouth, their business isn't showing up in search results, or people just aren't looking for beauty services online? So I saw somebody ask about SEO. SEO is important, but that's organic. SEO is not like you can have terrible SEO and still rank number one with Google Ads. That's the cool part about it. All right, so let's see. Their business isn't showing up. It's not that people aren't searching, it's that your business isn't being shown to them. So you got to get in front of the people searching basically for your services. So quick shout out to Cindy. I don't know if she's on here. I know she comes to a lot of our classes, but she's been working with us for about 6 years. And honestly, the reason I love her story is because it wasn't like an instant success story. Like I know a lot of people like to throw out the instant success stories, and we have those, but it was, the first couple of years were rocky. Like, she struggled with different things and but at the end of the day, she kept going. She kept pushing. And, I was talking to her at the Vegas Permanent Makeup Conference last year in October. And I was like, I knew she was doing good, but I didn't realize how good. I was assuming she was making like, I knew six figures. But when I talked to her, she's like, yeah, I'm on track to do 350K this year. And I was like, holy crap, I didn't know you were doing that good. Cause she's literally solo. Like, I think Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she just hired her first employee like a few months ago.
It was just an admin, I believe. It
Okay,
was
yeah. So she's literally doing 300, and like as a disclaimer, I think she did closer to the slide needs to be corrected. I think she did closer to about 330. But still, that's absolutely amazing. And so I love her story because it was an instant success, but she kept it going, and she's always, innovating with us. Anytime we recommend something, she definitely does it. But shout out to her. And I'm not just saying that to brag on her. I'm saying that, like, if you guys are struggling right now, you could, stick with it, find the right strategy, find the right team, and you can, do this as well, probably. So here's my first quiz, and I'm going to pick a book winner real quick before we go into this. So I'm going to pick on the first name I saw, Sharita Cook. Sharita Cook, you win a book. So the way this works is Maria, you'll see it on here as Maria PMU Marketer on here. She's going to reach out to you via personal DM on Zoom, like a private chat, and she will get your address, and then we'll ship you a book straight from Orlando. Cool, and we'll give out more of those tonight. I just wanted to go ahead and get that started. Now, let's play a game. We're going to be potential business partners, and I want to find someone with the most business savvy. So, and if you've been to one of my webinars before, please don't give away the answer too quick. I know I've asked this a couple times before. So, if you were going to start a water bottle stand, what would be your most important consideration? Would it be, the type of water? Would it be the location? Would it be how pretty the water looks, the design? Like what would be the most important consideration for your water bottle stand? All right, location, location, how many people would find you, location and audience, messaging, cost, exposure, type of water, location and visual. Okay. So I would say the overwhelming majority of people said location. The correct answer is if you're going to start a water bottle stand, you want a thirsty audience. There's got to be demand for it, a thirsty audience. And I mean, think about it. Like, let's say that you have the best looking water bottle stand, or, you can even apply it to your business. Let's say you have the best looking business, you have a beautiful spa, you have the best tools, but you're just not getting in front of the people who are thirsty for your services, the people who want your services. And that's what a lot of you are doing right now. You have everything you need to succeed. You're just not getting in front of the customers who are looking for your service. And that's what Google Ads are for. I mean, think about it with a like literally, this is, and I'm going to stop sharing this for a second because I want to drive this point home. I see this all the time where it's like, Jake, my competitor down the road, she just popped up and her work sucks. Like she doesn't even do a good job, and yet she's getting more clients than me. You know why? Because she's getting more attention. She's getting in front of the right people. So even though her services might not be as good as yours, she might not have as many qualifications, she's getting in front of the right people at the right time. And so that's what we got to fix in your business. Even if you had a water bottle stand and you were selling piss water, if you're out at the end of a marathon in a desert and people are dehydrated and are just like dying of thirst, they will still buy your water. And so, obviously, I hope you guys are selling better services than piss water, but you get the point. That's kind of an extreme example, but yeah. So, want to know how to find the people looking for your services? The fact is, 90 million people, and I'm going to show you how to find this exact number in your area. We'll do that in a bit. But 90 million people are searching for beauty services in the US annually. So, the average Google return on investment we see is at least 200%. So, people are usually at least doubling their money with Google Ads, if not more. Like, I think I've been running a lot of Google Ads for one of my businesses, and the average return on investment's 5 to 10 times. So it's really, really good. So here's why Google Ads matter. Your dream clients are already searching for you. You just need to show up in front of them. So step one, I'm going to go through 3 steps that you guys need to be following. Number one is show up where people are already searching. So how do you do that? Well, when somebody in your city Googles your services, are you the one they find first? That's the question. Are you the one they find first? So imagine if one of those clicks, let's say you're running Google Ads and one of those clicks turns into a $500 client. Think about that. How many people, let's say you have, you know, 50 clicks a day. Not every click turns into a client, but what if a percentage does? How much money are you missing out right now by not being in front of those people? That's what you got to realize. How much it's costing you not to run Google Ads. Yeah, Sienna says lots. Um, very true. So let's talk about, I saw someone, Lisa mentioned Facebook ads. So let's talk about the difference between Google ads and just Facebook ads slash Instagram ads. Well, Google ads are obviously where people are searching. They're searching for beauty services or whatever service you do. That's where you're getting in front of the highest intent customers. Whereas Facebook, people are scrolling. Yes, you can catch people at the right time and convince them, but a lot of times they're just mindlessly scrolling. And so they don't have their credit card out looking to book your service. I mean, you might catch them at the right time, and sometimes a lot of times it's a numbers game. But with Google Ads, you're getting in front of the highest quality leads you can possibly get in front of. So that's the main difference. Now, you're probably thinking, well, Jake, why would you ever tell me to run Facebook ads if it doesn't work? It does work. Like Facebook ads still work great with the right strategies. However, when you combine these two, it does even better because you can get higher quality leads from Google, but then you can retarget them with social media. But that's a whole nother lesson we'll talk about if we have time tonight. So if I had to pick one, Google Ads is going to be higher quality leads. So Tony, anything to add to that? I know you haven't got to talk much tonight.
Yeah, so I just want to give some real world like advice on Facebook, Google, things like that really quick. So I do both in our studio right now. I live and breathe, the grind of Facebook ads, and I'm here to tell you that I run Facebook ads. Majority of my budget goes to Facebook ads actually, but it's because of the Google ads that I run. So I do something very similar that everybody's been on Amazon or Googling searching for something, and now that one thing's just following you around all over Facebook. You see their ads everywhere. Da, da, da. It's like you're like, oh my God, Facebook knows what I'm searching for. That's how I do Google ads to Facebook. A large part of my budget is called what we call retargeting ads on Facebook. Now, I'm here to tell you that for me, I never get somebody to book on the first engagement on Facebook. It's very rare I get somebody to respond to my message, the first message on Facebook. I follow up with my leads 4 to 5 times, oftentimes 6 and 7 times. 6 and 7 times it takes me to follow up with somebody. Why? Because, like Jake said, someone's either in car line picking up their kid, they're scrolling through Facebook, passing time, they're on the toilet scrolling. It's scroll, 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 swipe. They're on the couch with their spouse. They're doing something where they're endlessly scrolling on Facebook, but they are slightly interested in your service, so they click on it, right? So that's why you have to follow up them 4, 5, 6 times. If you sign up to do Facebook ads and you say, oh, they don't work after following up 2 or 3 times, you're wasting your money. You're cheap. I am in the game just like all of you. And I've found that if I follow up the lead 5 to 6 times and they don't respond, at that point, I throw the lead to the side and I'll follow up once a month. With Google, to Jake's point, why is that more higher intent? Is because they're searching in the moment for your service. Period. It's just common sense. So for me, I love Facebook, one, because it is slightly cheaper. The cost per lead is cheaper on Facebook. I get a lot more quantity, so I get a lot more action. But when it comes to quality, Google's where it's at. So
Yeah, and just to clarify things, because we obviously we do a lot of Facebook and Instagram
you
ads.
do a lot of Facebook ads. I
And to
love
clarify the
Facebook.
things, the reason I've never pushed Google that much is because you really have to have, there's more moving pieces, that's more advanced, and you have to have a really good landing page, which we're going to talk about in a bit. But we finally found a good solution for that, and that's why we're pushing it more now because we finally found a way where people can really do it without costing an arm and a leg and without having to design a huge website. And so we'll show you how to do that in a minute. But back to Google. The fact is, about 70% of clicks, so when people are searching for your service, it's going to go to one of the top three results. And so if you're not in the top three, and 2 to 3 of those are going to be ads. And so basically, if you're not running ads, you're probably not getting that many customers. And so, even if you rank number one on Google, a lot of times if they show 3 ads, the person's going to click on one of those ads. They're not even going to click on your number one ranking. And if you don't rank number one on Google, then you're even more screwed, especially if you're not running ads. So um, definitely keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about 3 different types of Google ads you can run. So when you go to Google Ads, you can select different types of campaigns. I'm not going to get into all these. Most of them are not necessary, but the first one that's, probably my favorite, and Tony has a different opinion, but my favorite is search. Because it's the highest buying intent. It's people literally searching for esthetician in Miami, like on the screenshot. It's like hair salon near me, or whatever your service is. And we're gonna talk about keywords tonight, and I'm gonna teach you how to do keyword research to get the best keywords. But search ads are pretty much what they sound like. It's people searching for your service or product. Here's a visual example where it shows. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, Jake, if it says ad on there and sponsored, is that going to scare people away? You would actually be surprised. The average person doesn't even realize it's an ad. Even though it says ad or sponsored, the average person doesn't either know it's an ad or they don't care. All they see is, oh, this is the first thing that pops up. I'm going to click on it. So here's another example. And this was from one of our actual clients. And so the average cost per click was about $1.90. Now, I know that doesn't mean much to you right now, but I'm going to teach you a little bit here in about 30 minutes or about 20 minutes. I'm going to show you how to look up the average cost of a click for a keyword. So, like, let's say, your service is fat reduction or body contouring. I'll show you how to look up how much it costs in your area to get a click for that. And you'll realize that, oh, wow, this person got in 30 days, they got 22.69 thousand clicks for their business, which is pretty crazy. So we'll teach you more about that tonight as well. Now, number two is call ads. Tony, tell them a little bit about call ads.
Call ads, and this is where Jake said, me and Jake have different opinions on what type of Google ads work the best. I personally love call ads because who doesn't want a client to just directly call them? Putting your number right in their face. They call you right from the ad. There is no messaging back and forth. There is no submitting a form. They call you directly through the ad, and Google could literally track those calls. So if you want your phone to ring, a Google call ad is your best bet to get that phone to ring right away.
Yep. Cool. And I know some people don't like taking calls, especially if you're busy doing a service or you don't have an assistant. It can be tough to always field the calls. We do have something, I'm not trying to sell you guys on this, but we do have something called an AI virtual assistant that's rolling out soon. We already have it for chat, but we're going to have it for calls pretty soon where it'll answer your phone, sound just like a human, book the person for you, and tell them about the service or whatever you would normally say, probably even better. They will like it's an AI bot that does all that for you. So it's like having an assistant or a front desk person 24/7. So that's coming out pretty quickly. Within the next like we already have it out. We use it for our own business. We use it for a few select clients, but we're going to be rolling it out to everybody pretty soon. Awesome. So here's another example of a salon one where they had over 1,000 clicks at a cost per click of 1.3, or that means $1.30. Um, Savannah, I mentioned her earlier. She's getting at least after the 93 calls the first week, we actually scaled the ads back because she was getting too booked up after a few weeks. Now she's consistently getting at least 15 calls, if not more. Actually, I think this is a typo because I she's getting at least 15 bookings a week, so the calls thing doesn't even make sense. Then there's local ads. So Tony, tell us about local ads.
Local ads are the secret weapon in Google because who here, like when you search for something on Google, you instantly go to the map. Like, right? Type one if you pretty much always go to the map right away. Type one in the chat if that's you. Let's see some people who does. One. Okay, so several of you, a lot of you, okay? Well, who here struggles to show up number one on the map? A lot of you, probably all of you. This is your way to show up number one on the map by you running a what's called a Google local ad, or I call it, and this is not a professional name for it, I call it the map pack ad. But the Google ad on the map, like that gets you instantly showing up number one. So if you want to, if you're a person that has very little reviews, but you want to show up number one, your local ad is your go-to ad that you want to utilize for that. That way they could one call you right away because look at the call button, or two, they could send you to the website. Now, like what Jake was saying prior, I would never suggest somebody go directly to the website. You definitely want to use a landing page for Google. I'm a person, we're going to get into landing pages here in a second. I don't like websites. I think they're a big brochure that someone's going to pick up and toss to the side. So yeah, let's keep going, Jake.
Sweet. So here's the thing. Imagine if just one of the clicks, we you saw that our clients the past, and these were very normal ad budgets, like 1,000 clicks to almost like 20, basically 2,700 clicks. These are very normal budgets, like $15 a day. And so, what if one of those clicks turns into a $200 client or a $500 client, whatever service, whatever prices you charge? How many more are you missing now? That's what we want to think about. So, I actually love this testimonial from Marija where she's literally been in the beauty industry for the past 10 years and she's tried all the marketers out there. She's bounced from marketer to marketer and she's like, Jake, I always come back to you because you're the only one who actually provides results and actually loves helping others. And so I thought that was pretty cool that she was able to, try all these other marketers out. And then she's, back working with us and told us that. So that was on. I was honored for that. But if someone is literally searching for your exact service and you don't show up, guess where they're going? Can anybody put in the chat, where do you think they're going if they search for your service? When I say your service, like whatever services you do, and they don't, and you don't show up, where are they going? Yep, Harmon got it right. Competitor. They're going to your competition. So if you don't want the all the good leads to go to your competitor, we probably should look into getting you some Google Ads set up. Now, step number two to being able to get clients on autopilot. So you have a great ad. We've shown you some different ad types. You've seen the foundation, but where do we send those ads? Like when they click that link or when they click your ad, where do they go? Because it's not messenger chat like on Facebook, or it's not, it could be to your website, but where do you guys think they go? Well, if you're doing it right, we would take them to a landing page. And so a beautiful ad or an optimized ad means nothing if the page it goes to doesn't convert. And so this is probably one of the biggest, it's not the sexiest topic to talk about, but if you can learn some of the next 10 minutes, take notes because the next 10 minutes are going to be things that you're going to be like, okay, I need to go change my website or I need to get this landing page. I'm going to show you guys some actual examples too. So, as Tony's kind of alluded to, there's websites and then there's landing pages. I'm just curious, like type a one in the chat if you have a website, type a two in the chat if you don't even have a website. Okay, so a lot of you have websites at least. So that's a good starting point. Some of you don't even have websites at all. A couple of you have landing pages. Okay. So the main difference is a website is kind of like a big brochure. It's like usually has a lot of tabs. And I'm not saying don't have a website. Like there's still a place for a website. But the problem with websites is they're very expensive to create. Or if you try to do it yourself, no offense, guys, but it usually looks like crap. And it's not optimized for mobile, and there's a lot of other stuff. So, um, if you are the one of the few that has a great looking website that you did yourself, I apologize. I'm not talking to you, but I'm just talking about the majority of websites I see. A landing page is more like a one page flyer. It's like, okay, instead of telling you all about my services, here's my 20-second elevator pitch. I'm going to show you exactly the service that I think is right for you. I'm going to tell you about that. I'm going to give you the frequently asked questions, and I'm going to sell you that one service. And I'm going to try to get you to take an action. I'm going to try to get you to book with me or book a consult or call me versus trying to tell you everything about everything, which is what a website does. And so it's a very focused. And I'm going to show you some guys examples, and so that way it makes more sense.
Now, here's the thing. Put yourself in your client's shoes, right? You're somebody who's looking at getting skincare or waxing or permanent jewelry or whatever it is. And you're like, "Can you please send me to your website?" You reached out to that person with an intent to get a specific service, right? Even though you asked for the website, you mentally are asking because you want a specific service. Now, take it a step further and think about it as when they gave you that website, did you go on their website? You saw everything they offer. You got a little overwhelmed because you didn't get answers quickly. You mentally didn't get what you needed quickly. And then you bounced off of it and said, "Oh, I'm going to come back to it." How many of you have done that? How many of you have gone on somebody's website inquiring about something and then you bounced off of it because there's so much information, right? All the time. Definitely have, definitely have. Now, here's the thing. What if your client says, "Hey, I'm interested in brows or I'm interested in, anti-aging facials," and they just went to that one page for that one service and got all the information they need really quickly. That is what a landing page is. So when you're running Google ads and someone's Googling brow lamination Orlando, Florida, you don't want them to go to your website and see all your other services. You want them to see that this is brow lamination and I'm the expert at it, and this is everything you need to know. So that's where a website is like a virtual flyer that people throw to the side and throw in the back of their car. A landing page is literally the checkout page for them to actually perform the transaction. Does that make sense?
Well, that kind of confused me because it's not your booking site. So it's not like Vagaro or Gloss
Yeah,
Genius. We're not
it's not.
talking about where they just go and check out. That's not what we're talking. Let me give you guys an example. Um, So here's this is a template because we didn't want to give away our clients' info, but these are some of the types of landing pages we're seeing convert really good right now. So here's one for permanent makeup. And so it's got a big headline, it's got a nice photo, and you notice something at the top left right here, it's a phone number. Why is that? Because when people on their phones they're able to quickly see, okay, this is where I tap to call. Or there's a big button right here. Now, let me show you guys a concept. It's called above the fold. Above the fold means anything that appears before you have to start scrolling. Why is this important? Because we literally have seen studies, and I work with some of the best marketers in the world, like I'm in masterminds, and they said if you put a button, even if it's like an inch below the fold, so like even if it's just barely out of sight, that's going to decrease conversions by about 40%. So if you guys don't have a call to action right when they go to your website, you're losing about 40% of potential customers. Now, let's keep going and show you what the rest of the website looks like. So, we've got some great wording on here. It talks, got some highlights, some bullet points. People, and I know these duplicate, but don't pay attention to that. I'm just showing you the design. So people love reading bullet points. It just makes it easier to digest in your brain. Now, here's the first question somebody might have. What is microblading? And so it teaches them, what it is. It gives a summary. Now, notice it's not 25 pages of contradictions and all this. Like I've seen people literally send that to their leads. Like, oh, here's 25 paragraphs of everything about microblading and the science behind it. Nobody's going to read that. You have to break it down and simplify it for people. And so make it easier to understand, have visuals on there. Another button. Why do you want buttons everywhere? Because at any point when someone's like, okay, I think I want to do this, you don't want them to have to go scroll and look for a button. You want to have it readily available so that at any point they can take an action. Um, Now, let's talk about testimonials for a second. This is okay. And the reason I say it's okay is because there's a human face on there. If you have a human face on reviews, it does much better. Some of you only have text reviews and it looks terrible. And not that it looks terrible, it's just it's a lot less believable without a face. Believe it or not, it's faces make a big difference on reviews. And so always have a human face on your reviews. Now, what would be better than this? To me, just a screenshot of Google reviews. So just like screenshotting your best Google reviews and just putting those on the page, I think that would be better because it looks more real. It looks more organic. And so write that down. Always just screenshot your Google reviews or your Facebook reviews, either one, if or you can mix and match. But Google reviews, build a lot of trust. So we got another call to action. We got a little offer right here. And then I love this part. It talks about the journey. So this 5-step process. Okay, I come in for a consult. I get to select my color. I do numbing. I do the procedure. And then I have results. And so it's a very good roadmap for people to make it easy to understand the process. And so I love that part about this landing page. And you notice this is not just a booking link. There's tons of information on here. It'll show your before and afters. It shows your studio. Oh, look, we have a nice studio. Like that's important because if you don't show that you like where you work at, people are going to assume the worst. They're going to assume you're in a garbage dumpster, or in a back alley. And so showing them a nice studio really helps. And then about you and how you started and how you're certified and all that stuff, how much experience you have or why you have a passion for this, any of that stuff. You have a bio with a picture of you as the artist or the business owner. And so that really helps. And then more examples of your work. And then last but not least, you can ask my team. I have ingrained in them to always have frequently asked questions on there because sometimes people don't know what to ask. And the simple fact that they don't know what to ask, they're like, I don't really know that much about it, but I don't really know what to ask. So I'm just going to wait. I'm going to procrastinate, basically. And so if you can give them frequently asked questions of what they should be asking, and then it's basically like any objections you've ever had, like, does it hurt? How long does it last? Can you fix this gap? Will I be red or swollen? These are all objections people are going to have. And so if you can address those up front, like too many people try to hide objections. They're like, oh, if I just don't mention it, maybe they won't think about it. No, they're going to think about these things. But the difference is, do you want to be the one answering it, or do you want them to go to TikTok and let some idiot answer it? So think about that for a second. So always have frequently asked questions on your landing page. Um, cool. And so that's an example of a microblading one. Has this been helpful so far for anyone? Type a yes in the chat if that was helpful. Okay, great. This is stuff I should probably be charging for, but I'm just giving you guys free info. Um, there's a science and an art behind landing pages. All right, here's one for permanent jewelry. So, The permanent jewelry experience. We're selling an experience with the call to action right there. Why clients love it. So you're showing social proof of, creates lasting memories, painless and quick, no maintenance. Then we have like a nice offer with like a free jewelry kit. We call this a premium. It's basically a free gift for people. It works really good. And then we put a limited time. So we have a nice looking offer in here. We have some different, information about it, custom fit, all that stuff. We have some statistics to show to help validate, show where the magic happens, the people, the vision. Um, we have another, here's the journey. You choose your chain, you get custom fitted, you get welded, and then you're forever linked. And so it's like a cute little, it's like it only takes 5 minutes, zero pain, unlimited memories. So I like that. That's pretty catchy, actually. Um, cool. And then you just see a bunch of the work, and then we have frequently asked questions about MRIs and TSA friendly and all the questions permanent jewelry artists to get asked. So that's a permanent jewelry one. I'll show you guys one more. Here's one for lips, or actually, I'll go through the lip one pretty quick, but I really like this one too. Um, Similar aspects, and you see, this is a framework, guys. This is what we see work, and that's why we do it. Here's body sculpting. And we have different packages so they can, see the different packages and different examples. We show some other ways they can get the same end result and other services you might offer. And then we have the frequently asked questions. And so hopefully that was helpful to kind of show what a landing page is or what it isn't. Now, compare that to, just going to a website where, you know, you have to go through all these different pages, you have to figure out everything else. It's easier just for people to scroll. If they have to go find things in a menu, you're going to lose them. And so did that help anybody at all? Did you guys like that little demo? Okay, great. So, now that we've kind of talked about landing pages, I want to show you guys step three, which is last but not least. Um, Here's the thing, most websites, like your guys' websites, you're just leaking leads. Like you can send people to that and you're probably losing tons of money on it. So a landing page like this, make sure every click counts because especially if you're sending these to leads that you've paid money for, or you're sending these from ads that you've paid money for, you want to maximize the amount of money you're making, and you're not going to do that with a normal website. You pay for clicks, so why waste it on a page or a website that doesn't? So here's a good talking point. So Sherry said they looked like websites. Yes, that is the point. It is supposed to feel like a website, but what the end consumer doesn't realize is it's basically
They're
get
being
it's
pushed up.
basically pushing them to take one action versus a website's going to be all over the place. You're going to be trying to show all your services. You're really focused on one service and one action on that landing page. And so it is a form of a website, but it's like the difference between a kid in a karate class and a ninja that's highly trained. It's a highly trained ninja ready to sell for you. I don't know why I used a ninja example, but my toddler's in a ninja, so I guess that's why. um, all right. So now that you see what landing pages are, now you're ready to book clients. So let's talk about how to actually get people onto this landing page with ads, because even the best landing page won't work if no one's finding it. So step three is targeting the right keywords. Has anybody heard of keywords before? Okay, yep, lots of you. So let's talk about keywords. So essentially keywords are phrases or words that basically what people would be searching for. And so how many people are searching for this, I'll show you how to find that in a second. But search terms people use, keywords are triggers for your ads. So basically you can tell Google, like when someone searches this, them to see an ad. So that's pretty powerful. Now, there's different types of keywords. There's broad, there's phrase keywords, there's exact match. I'm not going to get too nerdy with this because it can get kind of confusing if I try to explain all those. But I'll show you exactly, what keywords I would probably be looking for to target the right audience. So instead of just showing you screenshots, I'm going to just show you the actual keyword planner. I've got it pulled up right here. I'm just going to pick a random ad account. Okay, so this is called the Google Keyword Planner. It's a free tool. You all have access to this. You just Google Keyword Planner. No pun intended. But you would click discover new keywords, and we're going to play a game here, or I'm just going to show you an example. I don't guess it's necessarily a game, but somebody type in what service you offer and what city you're in. Okay, waxing in Denver. And Sherry, I'm happy to answer all those questions at the end of this. I just want to make sure everybody's here to see the main content, and then I'm happy to answer all those questions. So just write them down and save them. Um, all right, Denver, Colorado, waxing, and we're going to click get results. And so the cool thing about the Google Google Keyword Planner is it will show you exactly how many searches on average people are getting per month or are searching per month and how much it's going to cost you to run ads to that. So waxing in Denver, it's about 1,300 people a month searching for that. Now, that's cool, but let's look at another keyword, waxing near me. That is a very high intent keyword phrase, waxing near me. Those people are ready to buy. They're ready to get their waxing done. So that's about 1,600 people. So that's between those two, you're talking about over 2,000 people that are searching for your service. Then there's eyebrow waxing near me. Then there's bikini wax near me. And then it's going to give you a long list of different keywords you can do. Sugar waxing, sugar wax, body waxing near me, even mustache wax, leg waxing. So you got all those sub keywords, but the main ones to me are like waxing, waxing near me, eyebrow waxing near me. You could do, any of the main service you have. You can even broaden the search with hair removal treatment, things like that, professional waxing. So the other thing that I look at is on waxing near me, you can get in front of those people for about $3 a click. So for $3, you can get in front of somebody who's ready to book with you. Sounds pretty good, right? All right, let's do another one. Um, let's see. Facials in Memphis, Tennessee. So let's go. Okay. Facials in Memphis, you got about 590 people searching for that. And it's actually pretty cheap there. You can actually get clicks as low as $1.20 or get in front of those people for $1.20. Facials near me, you got over 1,600 people. Um, so that, wow. You can
Wow.
yeah, you can do facials near me for $1 a click. And so if you're not running Google Ads, whoever was in Memphis, yeah, you better start Sienna. Yeah, just start running Google Ads in Memphis. That's a huge opportunity right there. All right, I'm gonna do one more. Let's see. Acne treatments. I'll do Carmen's acne treatment in San Antonio because I'm actually headed to San Antonio on Thursday to speak at a conference. So, um, acne treatment. And this is going to be one of the ones where you're going to see a lot of other keywords it recommends for things that are similar. Okay, here we go. I don't know why it's not letting me do acne treatment. That's weird. Never seen it do this. All keywords were different. Hmm. Yeah, at this point, I think it's just glitching out. That's weird. I'm just going to refresh the screen. I'm just going to do something easy just so it doesn't glitch out again. But I don't know why I would not pull up acne treatments. Let's see if this works. Okay. So at least facials is going to work. 1,300 for facials. Facials near me, you got over 3,600 people. So every single month, you have almost 4,000 or even probably more than 4,000 potential customers, and you can get in front of those for $1.30. And so I'm actually going to see if it does acne now. Okay, so it's actually working now. Um, actually, It refuses to do acne. I don't know why. That's weird. I've never seen that before, but I'm gonna figure that out and I'll get back with you guys on that later. But yeah, for facials, you're gonna crush it. Almost 4,000 people, $1.30. So I can't do it for everybody, but this shows you that there's so much opportunity. Like literally, for usually $1 to $2, you're getting in front of people who are ready to book with you. That's insane. Even in 2025, that's insanely cheap. And so, what question? Well, actually, before you get into questions, I want to cover a couple more things on Google keywords. Hopefully, that helped kind of show you like, wow, this is how I go and see how many people are searching for my service. But here's some examples of keywords, and a keyword doesn't always have to be a single word. It could be a phrase. So we got, best lash extensions near me, permanent makeup training course, affordable Botox treatment. These are all types of keywords. Tony, anything to add on keywords?
Um, who here struggles to figure out what keywords they should be targeting? Anybody struggle with that? Me. Let me give you a tip that cost me and Jake a lot of money to learn that was right in front of our face. You ever want to know what keywords you should be targeting? Just type in Google your industry. Example, look at this photo, how it says PMU, PMU Beauty, PMU Live, PMU Uni, PMU Turf. Those are the keywords you should be targeting. That's what Google finds relevant about your industry. It's right there in front of you, but we always go like overlook that. When we had one of our coaches tell us that, I was like, "Oh my God, I feel dumb. I am today years old. I am today years old." I learned that. And it's a lot easier to figure out your keyword terms just by Google will tell you. Google will absolutely tell you. So Sharon, if you look like at this image, see where on the image it says it's the phone, it says PMU Beauty, PMU Live. Those are the most relevant keyword terms that people are searching about your industry right now. You don't need fancy analytics to figure it out. Google's just going to flat out tell you. Like that was like moment for me when we figured that out. So awesome.
Yep, that was a good point. So here's the question. If someone is literally searching your exact service right now and you don't show up, guess where they're going? I think we've already had this question, but they're going to your competitors. So um, this was cool. Sharif sent this earlier. Already had two people book after my ad was posted today. So that was cool. So can you guys see how just this alone would save you weeks of trial and error?
Mhm.
Just what have we been on the call? 45 minutes, an hour? Just this alone is going to save you weeks of trial and error. So we're going to cover some more stuff and we're going to answer some more questions. I'm going to do some book giveaways. But I want to just ask a simple question. Like, who here is already glad that like, hey, this was a good use of my time. I'm so glad I came here. I'm already like my mind's spinning because I'm ready to do Google Ads. I'm ready for a landing page. Awesome. Love to see that. I appreciate it.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, my voice is ridiculous because I talked too much this weekend, so I apologize.
No worries. Yeah, I know you messaged me this morning and I don't remember the exact amount of bookings you had, but can you tell everybody a little like because you've been working with us all year or not all year, but like for like a year now, right?
Yeah, I signed up last April, so it's been exactly a year.
Awesome.
So yeah, I we started with Google Ads pretty early, but which Google Ads are my favorite. I love them. But this weekend we ran targeted ads for Mother's Day. And so I actually had three events and I had 23 appointments in store on Sunday itself. But I haven't seen you since the end of last year. So I actually have my final numbers for last year. And we ended up grossing last, so 2024, 319,000 on PJ. And
Nice.
then we did from Friday through today. So, because I still had people coming in for Mother's Day today, I did 15,400 in the last like 72 hours.
Wow. 15,004 in the last 72 hours. And then last year for 2024, you said 300 and something?
319,000.
Wow. Congrats to you. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. And that's all PJ. And honestly, I'm the worst. I literally post like a schedule of when I'm going to be, of where I'm going to be. So like it's all from ads, and like I have people booking on Facebook from ads. I have Google. I got a notification on my website that I've had since the 1st of May. I've had 250 hits on my website.
That's
Wow.
wild.
So I
Uh,
guess just to break that down for people, how much on average are you making a month?
Um, so in PJ, there's slow season and busy season.
Hmm.
Last month I was at about 35,000, but I'm already at like 25,000 for this month. And
Hmm.
I still have a ton of stuff. Like tomorrow, because of Google ads, I have a 9-person graduation party that's coming tomorrow morning. So like the rest of the week, I have 56 appointments, PJ appointments for the rest of the week. So,
Are you
and
gonna be at
that's people are
PTX?
still. No, I have a huge show, and my daughter is a figure skater, and so we have our spring show. So she's Nemo and Finding Nemo, so I couldn't miss that. So
Yeah, for
I
sure.
To come to Orlando.
I would love to. That would be amazing.
So
But
that's
no, I you guys have made all the difference in my company and how it's grown the way that it's grown. It's been, I mean, in the my fall season, I made like 50K in one weekend. And that's all permanent jewelry. That's not any of my other businesses. That's nothing else. It's just permanent jewelry.
Yeah,
wow.
and by the way, if anyone's on this call and doesn't offer permanent jewelry as a service, it's a great add-on service for a beauty business. And we actually teach how to do it. And so we'd be, if you guys are interested in that, just message me on the side or text us.
Shoot, I'll
It's
drop.
with also the like so the Google ads, I'm ranking first for basically anything jewelry. So
Mhm.
like the way that you guys have set that up is I'm first for everything, and then I'm the only one who has like a space. So it's like from like my name, permanent jewelry, and so like the first time anything they look for, I come up first. And so
Jake,
that's that's my biggest thing, and that's where I because I ask everyone when I'm doing their service where they heard about me from,
Mhm.
and 9 times out of 10 it's they googled me, and I'm
yeah.
the first one to come up, and I have 65 5-star reviews, and so like it's just it all synergistically works together. But like I've tried to do my own marketing in the past and I suck at it, so it's really nice to have like you guys who actually knows what they're doing,
Mhm.
and in turn I get success, so thank you.
So
Jake, do you mind if I drop the permanent jewelry link in the chat?
sure, yeah, you can
So we
drop.
actually own Linked Permanent Jewelry Training also. That's another one of our companies. And Peyton is a student of that. And this is exactly for those of you who are interested, looking at getting signed up, um, or just wanting to see what she's talking about. It's the ultimate add-on to any kind of like spa, studio, things like that. Peyton also does, you do eyelash extensions and aesthetics as well, I believe, correct?
I so I In New Mexico, I do, but in Missouri, all I do is permanent jewelry. I don't do
Gotcha.
anything else.
Yeah, because it's so much more profitable than lashes.
Yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
highly profitable service.
for example, like today, I literally had an hour of appointments and I made $875.
Yeah, that's
Like, I can't do that in a day of doing lashes and killing myself. And in an hour, and especially with what like markup is on product and everything else, like, there's not another business model that
yeah.
you make that kind of profit.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm expensive. Like I've always said that. Like I'm expensive and I stand by that. So like I had the last show I was at on Saturday, there was literally like a MLM and did like 5K, and they did. I don't know, but they never had a line. So and I was for sure the most expensive person there.
Hmm.
So, real quick, for those of you not to get confused, I dropped that longer link is the exact package that Peyton signed up with for Linked. We do have it on sale right now for 24.97. It's normally a $4,000 package. That one's 24.97, and we do offer shop pay. But then also, not to get to business, if you are looking at we talked about tonight, I just dropped that link in the chat as well.
Yeah,
We
we do
have
have two
one
spots
spot
left
left.
for that.
No, we have one spot left now, Jake.
Oh, okay.
So whoever wants that last spot, first come, first
All I
serve.
all I can say is Google Ads like changed everything. So 100%. As soon
Mhm.
as we started those, it's just they're by far the best. They're my favorite. and just like return for investment in those two. Like I like Facebook and like I like Meta ads because people say they always see me.
Mhm.
Like they're like, oh yeah, like if I went prematurely, like I saw your ads all over. So like it's more of like having like that billboard or that like TV commercial or that thing where I'm just like constantly in their face. But
Yeah.
like that's not what is like moving the needle to actually making the appointment. It's Google that does that.
Yeah. And the insane part about this package is we're actually building the landing page for them, which is not something we have ever done.
Did we do
I know.
that for you, Peyton?
No, I just use my website, but I would love a landing page.
Well, I already told Peyton we're going to fly her down to Orlando because I want to get her story on professional video.
Hopefully, hopefully I don't sound like this. It has
No,
to be
please
after a
don't.
weekend that I haven't worked like 900 hours and I actually still have a voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Peyton, for coming on here and sharing that.
Yes, you can, Carla. Yes, you can.
I thank you guys so much. Really, truly. You transformed my business and you guys are amazing. And I so appreciate you both.
Awesome. Well, congrats to you, and you're amazing.
Thank you. I'll talk to you guys later.
Alrighty.